Hi friends, Joseph Anthony here, and welcome to this special update video that I've called Chaos at Conventions with a question mark. Now, this is very possible given the astrology that's coming in. If you've been following me for a while, you know that July and especially August is very turbulent. The astrology is very chaotic, and I'm going to show you the charts of what I'm talking about, especially in August. As we go into this election season, expect a lot of changes, expect the uncertainty. As I've predicted here, that we may not even have an election or a last minute change or a delay of some kind that may be coming in as we go into November. And it could be, from whatever's above us, or the political landscape is beginning to change and there's a lot of chaos. So we're going to have to see how it plays itself out, but I'm seeing indicators everywhere here that July and August, especially August, seems to be more chaotic than anything else. So I've got some charts here. I'm going to focus on the two political parties and their conventions, and I do have indicators here, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So let's dive into it, okay? So as you know, we had the first debate with these two last night. So I'm doing this video on the 28th. And so if you're paying attention, I can't even watch this stuff because it turns my stomach. But I have to, kind of glimpse at it and keep an eye on it because of what's going on right now. And, my take on all this is that there's a great awakening occurring. Something or someone behind the scenes is causing this change and causing this to be exposed. So what we're seeing here are two players, that are showing their hand, essentially, if you could see it. Okay, it's not about the political parties or even about the candidates. It's about the people backing them and the organizations backing them. And we're starting to see the division even deeper. I know I could see it. I know I'm sure many of you have as well. So we're in political season, obviously. So a lot of people are going to be paying attention to this stuff. All right. So let's dive in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm seeing a lot of articles online about here's an example. The Democrats are bracing for some protests and weird stuff going on, and they already know it. Because remember, they all follow the astrology, they follow the numerology, they understand the cycles and the patterns. And they see that this could be an issue around the August 19th convention. And I absolutely would agree with that. It's going to be very chaotic, or it can be very chaotic. But we also have this from remote viewers and Clif High. If you've been following Clif, he has his web bots that are putting out information, and he's trying to calculate things and triangulate things. And so, he's not always accurate, but he gives you an idea of what's going on. And the remote viewers are also seeing some sort of chaos. And here we have July the 15th and 16th, and I will cover that. But notice what this is right here. Very interesting. Okay, remember, I've been talking about extraterrestrials and the possibility of that being used or, being shown. And I was shown in my vision, the end of 2024, that there were spacecraft flying around that we've never seen before. And so there is that possibility. And these remote viewers are picking up on something flying around oval shaped. So we'll see. This is another video if you want to check it out. They only give you a little teaser. They want you to, join their forecasting group. And so that's up to you. But Clif also put out a video himself. Here it is, Clif High. And I left a link down below so you could watch this video. It's not that long. It's only 26 minutes long. And he talks about what his data is indicating. And so with this, I saw these and I said, you know what, let me look at the astrology myself and see what the hell is going on here, because I knew it was going to be chaotic. So let me dive into it. So first, I'm going to focus on the Republicans convention, because it's in Milwaukee. It's between July 15th to the 18th. And this is going to be, again, the astrology is right on point for some sort of chaos or disruption of some kind. So let's dive in. So here we have the Republican Party when it was formed, okay? I tried to look up the chart, the exact chart and date. It's very hard to find information, but March 20th, 1854 in Ripon, Wisconsin, okay? So that makes the party a Pisces party on the cusp of Aries right there. And so we see all the Taurus energy too, which is very conservative. We also see a lot of planets in Earth signs. So we have 3 here. We have Jupiter in Capricorn. We have Mars in Virgo. And so we are seeing a symbol or an event that's taking place that is very conservative in nature, which would be the Republicans. You know, they're generally pretty conservative. But they were born a Pisces, so they have a tendency to self-sacrifice themselves and give, and, you know, very religious. They have quite a few planets in Pisces. As you can see, the Sun, Neptune, and Venus all in Pisces, which is the sign of religion. So no mistake that many Republicans are considered Christians and they lean in that direction, or they're Jewish and they lean in that direction. But that's not what I'm here to do, you know, talk about their religions. But here is the general overview of the Republican Party when it was created. So if we look a little further here, so we have, this is what I want to show you here, because Mars is going to conjunct Uranus in Taurus on the 15th. There it is right there at 26 degrees of Taurus. So anytime Mars and Uranus are together, you could expect surprises. You could expect turbulence. You could expect high energy. You could expect restlessness. Okay? It's in Taurus, which helps it stabilize a little bit. Taurus is very slow and methodical and grounded and very practical. But it has something to do with values. It could have something to do with money. And it could also have something to do with power structures. Now, generally speaking, we see some positive alignments to this conjunction. So we see a positive alignment from the Sun at 23, and here is 26. And we see a positive alignment to Neptune at 29 and 26. So these are only a couple of degrees off. So we're seeing a positive alignment, generally speaking. What this could mean is, you know, there could be some infighting. There could be some surprises. There could be somebody that speaks out at the convention that really surprises everyone. And this is all around the 15th. It could be the 16th as well. The transiting moon is in Scorpio. Anytime the moon is in Scorpio, and all law enforcement and agencies that, you know, watch communities and so on, know that when the moon is in Scorpio, especially a full moon in Scorpio, there's always a bit of chaos in the air. There's like this buzzing energy of, you know, chaotic energy in the air. So there is that possibility. And even on the 16th, the moon will still be in Scorpio. So this is suggesting or indicating there could be some disruption here, even going in, as it opposes, especially when it opposes Mars and Uranus. So the chaos could be on the 16th, not necessarily the 15th. All right. So what I mean by chaos, and it absolutely could be protesters outside. It could be firebombing the place, you know, throwing cocktails at police or whatever it is. We'll see, you know, what this disruption is. Also, it could be somebody inside, you know, pretending to be a Republican, and they're in there, and all of a sudden they are yelling and screaming, and there's a group of people holding up stupid banners or whatever. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there that we could expect the unusual, the strange, things out of the ordinary with this convention as well. Okay, so here is the overlay. Here's the Republican Party chart. Here is the Mars conjunction of Uranus, and it is in the second house. Now notice it's right on their Saturn, right there, 27, 26. This means that there could be some issues with leadership. This could mean there could be some issues with finances. Now, as you know, Mr. T has raised, I think, record number of money for his campaign. There could be something to do with money and power that is here, and it could be disruptive. It could be somebody within that causes this disruption. Okay. We also have Neptune right on the Sun chart, right here on the Sun of the Republican Party. So which means confusion. This could be confusion. This could be a little bit of chaos and disruption or uncertainty in the mix. Whatever it is, it absolutely is indicating that it has to do with the environment, the place where it's being held. There's something also here that I want to bring up that's very possible. I'm just going to toss it out there. There could be somebody with health issues, somebody in a leadership role. I'm not saying Mr. T, but it could be somebody else who gets injured, or a well-known individual, because it's the 10th house, it's Jupiter, and it's next to Chiron. And this Uranus-Mars will be making an alignment to it. And it's a favorable alignment, so I'm not saying it's a bad thing. but maybe somebody has a stroke, maybe somebody has an illness while they're giving a speech, or maybe somebody gets sick in the audience and ambulance have to come in and take them out. Whatever it is, I'm just tossing it out there and showing you that the energy is very chaotic during this convention beginning July the 15th. 16th is still volatile, and even the 17th, okay? But the 15th and especially the 16th, when the transiting moon basically is opposing all of these alignments. So it definitely looks like something is in the air. Something's buzzing here with the astrology, okay, because of this Uranus, Mars conjunction in the second house of values, beliefs, finances. Could be something to do with the markets as well at the same time. Maybe there's major announcements about the markets. I have to throw that in too because it's Taurus, and Taurus rules money. We see the Saturn here also closely aligned to the Neptune. So there could be some restrictions. There could be maybe some technical difficulties with microphones and cameras or whatever else they got going on. I just hope we get to see it, because a lot of what we're seeing right now is being edited and is being omitted and not being shown to us. And of course the AI is getting stronger, and everything is not what it appears to be. So anyway, this is the Republican side of things. Now let's go to the Democrat side. Now this is where I think it's going to be a lot more chaotic, between August 19th and 22nd in Chicago. Now, if you've been following the real news, Chicago is a powder keg waiting to blow up. A lot of the folks there, especially the black folks, are so pissed at their government and what they're doing with the illegals that are coming in, that they're starting to rebel against everyone that's in power over there. So there's been quite a few news reports on the ground from people that have spent days there saying, and talking to a lot of folks there, saying this is not going to be pretty. So this is why I'm going to say that the Democratic National Convention may be more chaotic than the Republican one. And I'm also saying that because of the astrology, okay? So let's keep an eye on this, see what happens. Maybe they postpone it, maybe they, move it. I don't know, but, whoever chose this location, I don't think they did a good idea. It wasn't a good idea, but we'll see what happens. So let's go to the Democratic Party. Here's their birth chart, January 8th, 1828. In Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and it shows a lot of Capricorn energy here. 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in Capricorn, and quite a bit of Scorpio here, which is all about sneakiness. Moon in Virgo, very analytical, very methodical. They also have a lot of Earth in their chart. What's so interesting when I was discovering all this is that at one time the Democrat-Republican parties were one and the same until they divided. But here, the Democrat Party, here's their chart. I'm going to give you an overview of what we see here, and we'll get into it. But now, let me show you why this August 19th date with this full moon is so chaotic. Okay, so if you guys follow astrology, you know what I'm talking about. But let's dive in deeper. First of all, we have a Mercury retrograde, which right away could cause confusion, uncertainty, things from the past to resurface. The Sun is conjunct that Mercury retrograde, which means something from the past comes forth, okay? So the Sun is at 27 degrees, 25 degrees of Mercury. But when we look at the opposite end, 27 degrees of Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is the sign of instability, uncertainty, surprises, okay? So not only do we have the tension between these three planets, okay, that's number one. That's enough to, raise the elevation of tension and frustration. But when we look to the right here, we see a 27 degree of Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, at exactly 27 degrees. This is an exact T-square. 27, 27, 27. T-square is a tough, heavy alignment. And we have Uranus in the mix. Surprises, rebellion, people outside screaming and chanting. Uranus is the sign of the rebel. And so I'm going to say that this could be a very rebellious convention, either inside and outside. Number one. Okay, so we see people and we see a lot of uncertainty here. This is a powder keg that's blowing up. Okay, and so this is right there we have the first alignment that is chaotic. All right, but there's more. Then when we go to Jupiter, Jupiter's at 17 degrees of Gemini. This is about communication. It is squaring Saturn at 17 degrees of Pisces. Once again, this is heavy tension. This is frustration. This is energy that wants to move, energy that does not feel comfortable. And yes, Mars is involved in this too. It's only 3 degrees away. So we have a Mars-Jupiter conjunction squaring Saturn right there. So now we have another alignment that is very heavy and wants to be challenged and wants to change things and wants to be explosive in some way. Okay? But wait, there's more. That's just one. Then when we go to the other end, we have Venus in Virgo, the analyst, the skeptic. Venus is also opposing Jupiter. It's not opposing Saturn and squaring Jupiter and squaring Mars. So now we have 2 squares in the picture here, the moon and the sun, and now we have Venus, Jupiter, and Mars and Jupiter. Okay? This was Saturn, excuse me. So we have 2 T-squares that are active very strongly here. And so we astrologers are just scratching our heads going, wow, this is going to be really monumental, whatever the hell happens here, that we're going to have to pay attention to because the energy is too strong. And this is not docile energy where people are just going to sit still and go, oh yeah, everything's great, let's all hug each other. No, this is F you, I'm going to destroy you, I'm going to, you bastards, you did this, you did that. And so we may see more chaos at the DNC because of the astrology that's influencing these dates. Okay? And so anybody that looks at this, and knows astrology will tell you the tension is very high here. It is very unstable. Okay? So, take it for what it's worth. We will absolutely see something different, unusual, out of the ordinary, something that's not working right. Chaos, confusion, and this could be about the members as well. Maybe they're going to get frustrated and be fighting each other. I mean, this is the kind of energy that I'm seeing here. Remember, it's rebellious Uranus and Aquarius, which is one and the same, under a full moon. If I was advising, people to do a convention or a gathering, I would not choose this date. It is too chaotic, but maybe that's what they want. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be something else. So when we look at the Democratic Party and these alignments, here's first the sun and the moon, 2nd house to 8th house, so something to do with power struggles, something to do with financial matters. Okay, so there's the tension, number 1. Then we see Uranus in the 5th, surprises out of nowhere, out of the ordinary, which will come into the mix, absolutely. And then we see Mars and Jupiter here, squaring Saturn, and here, and Venus up here. So everything to do with communication. The 3rd house is communication. The 9th house is travel, exploring, adventure. And we see that Venus will be getting closer to the conjunction with the moon, but it won't happen for about a week or so. But it's still in effect because it's in the same sign. So what I'm seeing here is there's going to be a lot of ruckus and a lot of people being outspoken and yelling and screaming or whatever it is. There's a lot of frustration in the air. We also see the transiting Neptune at 29 degrees opposing the moon at 28 degrees. Once again, confusion, irritation, frustration, unrealistic expectations in the mix. And so we're seeing a bit of chaos here in this birth chart. And so this could be very, very tricky for the people in Chicago. And maybe the mobs really start acting up. I don't know. But we will see this unfold right before our eyes for those of us paying attention. And so, I'm just giving you my take on it from the astrology standpoint. And tuning into it, I already know there's going to be some sort of chaos. And there might be, maybe it's minimal, and it's not that big a deal. We'll see. Okay, but the energy, like I said, is indicating uncertainty, instability, chaos, confusion. All of that is in the mix, all of it. And I'm noticing here Jupiter and Mars both are in conjuncting the Sun and Neptune as well, causing more confusion in the mix. It's almost like something happens and they're trying to get control of it and it's not being controlled and it's getting frustrated and it's getting out of hand. Well, we'll see what happens, okay? I'm just putting it out there just in case. All right. Anyway, I'll be coming out with a new video, the new moon outlook, before July the 5th, and it's called Passionate Desire. And I'll be talking about the new moon. Of course, it's the United States' birthday. I'll be mentioning that as well. And of course, I dive deeper into all of this in my private community because, as you know, it's getting harder and harder to speak, freely here. I have to watch what I say. I have to, use certain words and certain phrases in order not to be, targeted or pinged by the AI. So this is why I have a free community and I have an inner circle. And here's the website, and I left a link down below, so you choose, okay? If you want to join the free community, great. There's thousands of people on there, and we all interact. I share information on there, and then people, could speak more freely. Of course, my moderators are on there, paying attention to everything. And if you really want deeper and more meaningful information, every week I have a Zoom call, 1 hour, and we dive deeper into all of these topics. The last couple of weeks I've been diving really deep, and all my members there have been wonderfully commenting and sharing their input as well. So head on over to my website here, astrologerjoe.com, and you have a choice. You could join the free community, no obligation, or if you want to join the inner circle and gather a lot more information, by all means, do so. All right? So have a great week. And I will be back soon with that new moon outlook video. Bye for now, friends.